Welcome to the shop. Brian here with you. I want us to take a look now at what is a very rare, one-of-a-kind cash account book for a gold bank in California. It's a 19th century cash daily log of one of just a handful of gold banks in the United States that were in California. In fact, if we look in this standard reference book here by Friedberg, Paper Money of the United States, this is the section on the National Gold Bank Notes of California. And we'll see that, according to Friedberg, the authority on paper money, these notes are the most romantic of all of our currency issues. Their existence is directly traceable to the California gold rush of 1848. The bank here, this gold bank, issued notes that were privately backed by this bank only, not the United States government, to be redeemable in gold coin. And this is this type of gold coin bank is directly traceable to the gold rush of 1848. And the thing to know about this log and all of these notes is that all of them are very rare and very valuable. In fact, it even says that notes from any gold bank in California in crisp new condition is practically unheard of and is an outstanding rarity. The general condition is one of advanced circulation, and they're often in relatively poor physical condition. And so this is what they would have looked like here. Instead of saying San Francisco, this is the logbook for the First National Gold Bank of Petaluma, right here. And we'll see, for instance, that their $20 notes from this bank are extremely rare, and that the $50 notes from this bank are unknown. That's the first brief reference overview we can look at. This is what the notes would have looked like in color here, like this. First National Gold Bank of Petaluma. We see here that in 1874 it began, the First National Gold Bank, Petaluma, $7,000 for a note which is in good condition, which actually means poor. $80,000 if it's in very fine, which is also just sort of acceptable, or nice looking, but not anything like new. What's interesting here, though, is this is a list of the banks. There were 9 of them, just 9. So there's, in theory, only 9 logbooks in existence for these banks, and we have one of them right here for the Petaluma Bank that began in October of 1874. And what's interesting is that this log cash account book right here actually begins in 1874 on September 23rd with the capital stock. And we see here a list of the deposits, the interest, and here's a general column in the circulation in November. And so the money, the bills, they started circulating, they had them printed, sent them out. And what's interesting to know about this era in California is that paper money was not widely used or even liked. People preferred hard currency, just so to speak, gold and silver coins. We see here that if we start looking again at the Petaluma Bank, the money is very valuable, and this gives you a very good idea of how it survives. And so there's that reference. And here, this is the final one we'll look at before we examine this account book, is this standard U.S. paper money encyclopedia by, of course, the prolific David Bowers, who has written probably 100 numismatic books. The National Gold Bank notes are here, and we see that the Petaluma First National Gold Bank is here, dated 1874. Only 7 notes when this was written had been recorded, and the highest graded was in fair condition. Here's a nice illustration of how the notes would have looked, saying Petaluma there. But that gives you a brief historical overview reference of what we're looking at and talking about when we talk about this logbook. This is in horrible condition. If you look at it exterior, it says the First National Gold Bank of Petaluma It's beat up, it's lacking some pieces here on the spine. The covers are like so. This book obviously sat somewhere, maybe in the basement of a bank or something, and has seen the light of day only very recently, which is to say now. And this is the original. Here's the original Extra Russia, the binding to the binder. It says cash book right here. There's some old staining here. And when we start to go through it, we will see that they skip page 1. They begin in 1874 with September with a capital. And this book here is a daily, by month, by all the years. It goes up through 75, 1876, 77, like that, 79, and it just keeps going. It's a daily accounting of this bank's cash coming in and going out, like this. And it goes right up until almost the very end of the existence of this bank. It continues here, 1880s, like this, mid-80s, 86, 87, 88. Yeah, very interesting. This is a one-of-a-kind item. It could well belong in a numismatic museum like the one in Colorado. 1891, we're at the final leaf here, and the book ends, actually, it says balance to new book, and so that is how this cash accounting book survives. Yes, perfect example of something that physically doesn't look very nice, but historically is potentially of immense interest numismatically and to collectors of paper money. If you have a note from this bank, you're one of just a handful of people, and this book for that bank might be of interest for your collection. At any rate, it is available now online from me, Brian DeMambro.